Okay. Alright. It's time to understand the serious nature of things. I'm not talking about your politics and these war games you play. I'm talking about the serious nature of your own divinity. Where you came from and what you're responsible for. But it seems to have been lost here in this cold world called responsibility. Well, if you're reading this or listening to it, you're going to realize that you are within the turmoil now. You can hardly recognize yourselves. You need the opinions of others to have some place in your world of view. You need the opinion of yourself. You need to understand the nature of God within you. The power of this world is your ability to manifest. That's the power within this world. Yet you have given that away to your coins. You're manifesting for food and support for the systems of, I say systems, of selves that you have within you. You have 7 main in the chakras. Most of you understand that part, or at least aware of 7 chakras. But you have many more. And within each one is an entity in its kingdom. And you are the overlord, whether you know it or not. And you're finding that out. Because the suffering you're suffering is the suffering you're taking on in listening to words and justifying your own position. Don't have to. We've told you this before. Don't take sides in this one. What's going on now? If you want to participate with prayer for peace. Right? And try the rosary. Try that one. That's a petition for help. And then within the prayer of the rosary it says, pray for us sinners. But if you pray it long enough, you're going to hear a voice tell you, pray for yourself. Prayer has a secret. It's a secret within your heart chakra. You have 4 chambers there in the heart. Within the center of the heart you have a cave. Little dark cave that you hide in. The you of you that knows all of you, knows all of the gods, afraid of the gods, afraid of the yous, don't know what to do with the yous and the I ams. That little one is coming out now. I call it the little one, because what is termed little is not size. It's the use of knowledge. Little ones don't have the understanding of use of knowledge, babies. You understand that. So too the little one within you. So you have to be understanding that you are a parent. Whether you have children or not, you have one within you and you're it. You are in the growing up phase. The graduation phase, if you wish to call it that. The acknowledgments of your I am presence, the dignity of self, responsibility for the self, and if the body's in pain, you have an entity that's crying there. You've got to pay attention to those entities within you. And then you have to understand how you gathered that little entity or entities. And you're going to understand this little term possession. And then you understand how to keep it away. And then you're going to understand yourself. And then you're going to understand you're going to keep your sandbox clean, because what's in the sandbox is what you're playing with. The sandbox in your physical world is within your chest. It's your lungs, your heart chakra, and your thyroid. That's your sandbox. It comes up from the solar plexus, actually, where the judgment of it is. But the cleanliness and responsibility for the cleanliness of that sandbox and who's available to play within that sandbox is yours. And how does it get there? It gets there by words, thoughts, things that are dropped down. In the beginning was the word. And then you have a word within words, within words, within words, and you don't know the original meaning of the word itself. The word word. What does that mean? What does it mean, word? Word is, no matter how you categorize it in your vocabulary, is an action and a manifestation. A call for action and manifestation by the inner self, determined to use a word to see what happens, basically, as you're learning. So pretty soon you're going to be more delicate in the choice of words and even in conversations that you wish to take part in. Because you don't know where your words came from. Oh, you read about it, and you've studied dictionaries, you know all of that. But how was it impressed upon you at this moment? Who did that? Did you call it up within, or was it pushed in from the outside to the right side of your brain or to the left side of your brain? Who's tampering with you? Who's hacking your system? You're seeing these words on your TVs now, hacking, yeah? And you've seen the news media of how these corporations are using your programs to control you emotionally. Because a computer only knows what it's programmed to do. It's not a thinking machine. It's comparing words and bytes and bits and produces a result. You're not computers. You have the ability to understand emotional frequencies within the dignity, I say dignity, of the self. Right? Now this was on your news, how your corporations and your internet things are controlling you, not only your words, but your emotional body, control of the systems of society. You people are not paying attention to your teachings. You have signatures of this in the Hopis, Hopi Prophecy Rock. It shows the technology going off the cliff. And it shows those responsible within the nature's thing continuing. Because that's what you have to do. If you go off the cliff, they join another cycle. You're going to be under what is termed robotic control. You're going to become obedient to the machines, which you already are, because you can't do anything with that computer unless it lets you to. Unless it's programmed to do it, you can do it. But if it's not programmed to do it, you cannot do it. Same way with you. So you're going through a point now, entities, of becoming your own designer within your system and going to understand the proper use of words, for they are your abilities to manifest. Through each of the 7 chakras, each one at a time. You do that one at a time, so you learn how to blend them, and you will find out that your physical form, you, being standing, you as an entity of the waking up out of bed one, is a frequency unto itself. And then you find your tones, I call them tones, because they're inner beings that you're going to be speaking with, because they're part of your camaraderie in this spiritual war that you beings are within. And the war is for the selves of you. For you. For your souls, entities. I know you have a hard time understanding this whole thing. Okay? But when you're out in your world dreaming, you're not in your body. You're in a protective vehicle called the soul, but you can't see the edges of it, and experiencing portions of your desires that have not been manifested yet in the physical world, and portions of your desires that you do not want to manifest in the physical world. You try to take it pace out there because it's over with and done with fast. So what you're really doing in your world living, you're going to find out, you're going to be tracking your words. By that I mean, where'd that one come from? Who's thinking that? You're already doing it telepathically. Your beings are playing mind games with each other. Over your news for control of this and that's idea of what? What did these commentators do? What did they do? What did they do physically? What did they do? Talk. A lot. They don't work. They don't. What do they call work? Going to the beach, partying. Haven't learned. And those listening to these beings haven't learned either. You should be in your unit of sanctity daily, daily. From the morning of wake up, thank you for being wake up. Do your duty. Responsibility number one, perform the task. At the end of the day, you have accomplishment. You feel a sense of accomplishment. You've completed your responsibility, and then you get new instructions at night. You're in another world, entities. Unless you want to be run by machines, then you're in the machine world. And then you will have to blame your body yourself. Because the machines cannot cure you. It's proper thought, proper diet, proper consciousness of thankfulness. You have a life, number one. Because most of you don't know how you got one. You want to blame your parents for this and blame that and criticize this and criticize it. Do something. You don't have to be acknowledged to perform it. Just do it. Get yourself organized. Know what your hours of your day mean. Understand what 3 o'clock is, which is the hour of the crucifixion. And understanding that you're being crucified now, entities. You get that picture clear, you understand who you want to pay attention to. You pay attention to your proper prayer, and you pay attention to your proper food, and your proper water, and you bless the water before you drink it, thankful that you've got it because you're 75% water, 70% water. That's most of you. That's why you're so emotional. Haven't learned to control the waves, nor the sharks, nor the crabs, nor the fish in the sea. Because if they're in the sea, they're in you. God's path is through the water. That's biblical. It's there. It's a clue for you. And God's path is through you, you're 70%. So you need that consciousness for the assistance to perpetuate your own existence. Because you don't know how you're doing it. You don't know how your heart's beating. You're just thankful. Most of you aren't thankful that it's beating. You disregard the entity in there working. Actually, there's 4 beings there. Doing a lot of chemical reactions for you, cleaning the air and all of this sort of stuff, so you have an idea you might have a self. That's how this works. So you're going to understand what companionship is, and the necessity for it. The necessity for it. Now, you're going through a different level of consciousness, entities. I'm going to tell you this. You're going to need to understand who Archangel Uriel is. Okay? Look it up, read about him, and the force that he works with. Because that presence is becoming. And that's the Archangel of Vengeance, entities. So peace to all beings. And in the peace to all beings concept, you have mercy to all beings. Because you have no right to judge others. Because yourself is going through the judgment process now. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. That's what's happening. And if you want to stay in the calm and pleasure nature of space, within nature, I would pay attention to the animals. The dogs, the cats, the birds, the bees, the butterflies. Those beings know how to handle this force appropriately. The human condition right now is erratic. It has no idea what it is, what it's supposed to do, how to do it, and the why for of it. So you're in this phase. And I will tell you, come June 1st, when I've said, and we've said, the space is going to shift. What's going to happen is your consciousness is going to shift pretty dramatically in the heart chakra, in the throat chakra, thoracic regions, up through the head. All right? Your perception is going to change. It's going to look like things are spinning and shifting around you. They are. You need to stay centered in your peace to all beings. You need to focus in the heart chakra and just watch the vision move. Watch it spin. It'd be like you're on a merry-go-round and the space around you shifts. You just stay centered. Stay in the center of that merry-go-round. Stay in the center. It'll cease. Space will have been altered. Things might still be there, things might not be there, but you will be there. That's the secret of it. Then you have your I Am presence going through space, what we call time and direction. Time is a direction, and it's up, not horizontal. Beings play the horizontal thing. That's why you're going through this turmoil. You're staying in the same level of the chakras you've been in for the whole life. You need to come up the spiral of yourself, the tree of life that you are. You have to become the fruit of your own loom. Loom, I'll say loom. There's no womb there in the male condition, but there's a loom because you can blend and weave thoughts that are not appropriate or are appropriate here, and you learn how to do them and what to work with and how it's a benefit for others. Because once your space is clean and clear, it sends a vibration out. And the more holy ones come in and reside there. So they can have a sense of feeling physical, but yet not. They don't want to. And as it expands, it expands, it expands, it expands. And it's peaceful. It's peaceful. You don't force anything. It expands. And you pray for peace. And you pray for protection. And you pray for joy. Peace, protection, and joy, so you can understand really what's going on. Because you're dealing with angels now, and you're dealing with demons. You are. You are. And they're trying to control you by the machines. And they've done a pretty good job. Because many of you get very anxious if you can't have access to your phone. That's not a good symptom of wellness. You need to be well in nature. You need to be organized as nature is organized. You need to calm yourselves and understand there's blessings coming. You would behoove you to look at the prophecies from Medjugorje and the prophecies from Fatima. They were given there for a reason, for a reason, for a reason. You're coming toward the 100th anniversary of World War I. You do not want 3. But you wake up. You pray for peace. You talk to the angels because those are the only ones that can change this situation that you beings have got yourself into. So caught up in your minds and your words, you don't even know what you've said and what effect it's going to have. You go for effect, but you don't do anything. Too much talking. Too much talking. Too much talking. There has to be more understanding. Growing food to provide for yourself. Just a little bit. You don't need to eat that much. But then you'll get into your understanding of sovereignty. Because none of you have it. You're frightened. In turmoil. You forgot yourselves. You forgot the power that you have. You still have it. You're just not using it right. That's all. Just flip the coin over, look at what you did, and don't do it that way again.